What's up, YouTube? Southern Comic Geek coming to you with an unboxing video. That's right, it's been way too long since I've had a CBCS or CGC unboxing, but today is the day that this is going to happen. This one in particular has been a long time in the waiting, but before I get into all that, I want to go ahead and give the obligatory hit the smash, hit the like button, lightly tap it, whatever you feel is comfortable, and the bell notification so that when videos like this drop in the future, you will be one of the first people to know and can make the conscious decision as to whether or not to watch it now or later. But as long as you watch it, we appreciate you. And also, I'm kind of testing out a new mic. So if anybody in the chat, hit the smash. That's right, hit the smash. Maybe that's a new dance, Hidden Gem. I'm kind of an older guy. I don't know, maybe it's a dance. Let me know. But I am testing out a new mic. So if y'all could let me know whether or not this sounds better or not. I had a comment, which I appreciate, that someone says they always had to turn up the volume on my stuff. I don't know if I was trying to keep it down low because I typically do videos with the kids in the background and not having to or trying to keep things down so they don't come bang on my door, or if it was my mic, because I've typically have used the audio or the mic built into the computer and not this Bluetooth snowball. So Les Cruces says, sound great. Thank you, Les Cruces, all the way from New Mexico. When you're there, come here. And that's what they used to say when I was a kid. Daniel Anaya, hopefully I didn't butcher your last name. Thank you. Thank you. We got Hidden Gem Comics up in the house saying hello to Kid Collector. Kid Collector, what is going on? Thank y'all all for showing up today. And we're going to go through some preliminaries as people file in before we open that box. And so I do want to go ahead and say that I have another video pre-recorded that's dropping today, I believe at 2 p.m. Central. But if you hit that bell notification and are subscribed to the channel, you don't have any fear of missing it. How about that? Plus, I also post on Instagram just in case YouTube is not doing its job. But just one of those deals. Oh, I pronounced it correctly. Thank you. So I've got that video dropping today, and then I've also got a video going live tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central Time. Go ahead and hit that bell notification so you know and you don't miss it, because that is when I'm going to be giving away the X-Men 4, first appearance of Scarlet Witch, the one that everybody's been vying for. All the votes are in, all the tallies have been cast, and so we're going to put those names on the wheel and spin it to win it. And one lucky person's going to walk away with an X-Men 4 in their personal collection tomorrow. And as you know, with typical giveaways in the past, I end up giving away some extra stuff while I'm at it, just for the people that are hanging out in the chat to show my appreciation for those of you who are taking time out of your schedules, whether you're between classes like Hidden Gem or between work or just chillaxing at the house. Irregardless, I do appreciate you watching the content that I drop on the channel. And talking about giveaways, how about another giveaway? What is this, a giveaway channel? What is this? I'm giving away the farm. I just posted on Instagram that if someone, or rather, if we get to 800 subscribers by the time the giveaway video happens tomorrow at 4 o'clock, I'm going to be giving away this book right here. This is Civil War #5, signed by Michael Turner. Now, as you might know, Michael Turner is no longer with us. He died, unfortunately, and very early, but he was able to put out a lot of stuff between the time he started until then, and it is still used today. But even on that Spider-Woman that was released, there was a Michael Turner cover on that, and that was just released last year. So if you're interested in getting this, a Michael Turner sign, call your mama, call your wife, call your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever the case may be, and let them know to sub up to the channel, because if we hit 800 subscribers by the time that the video airs, or while the video is airing, that's fine too. then we'll go ahead and give it away. Currently 35 subscribers away from making it happen, so I know that it's more than capable. And what's up, Shiny? Shiny up in the house. How are you? Hopefully your books made it to you. Hidden Gem Comics. I don't know if your books have made it to you yet as well. It's amazing what the Postal Service is doing. Some things fly through just like they're supposed to, and some file or get filed in the dungeon. So who knows? But yeah, so be sure to check that out. And let me show you what I got in the mail yesterday as we're still waiting for people to file in. I got this in yesterday. This is Magnus the Robot Fighter. You knew I had to throw a little Valiant love in there somewhere. But Magnus the Robot Fighter, number 25. This is from the Valiant Validated Signature Series. So if you saw one of my videos not too long, boy, I did some weird stuff to my lighting. Kaya B, what's going on? How are you? There's one of my winners from a recent giveaway video I did. Might have been my 500, 600 subscriber video. It seems like a ways ago now. But yeah, so this is got an embossed, you really can't see it, kind of like a Notary Republic. And it's signed twice, once by Bob Layton, and I think the other one is by Oslander. But these were given with these certificates. This was one of 5,500. Now, that sounds like an awful lot, but in the 90s when that was released, that wasn't a lot of books out there. So originally 5,500, you got to think through from then to now with the comic crash that happened after all that. A lot of those are no longer in existence. That is not one of the harder ones to find. That's one of the rather easy ones to find, but it's one I needed anyway. So I'm down to needing 2, I believe, which are the hardest ones to find: Eternal Warrior 27 and Geomancer number 1. Not the regular covers. I have those. It's the Valiant Validated series. So on the lookout for that. Yes, you are more than welcome. Done a video yesterday with one of the packages. Awesome. Yes, Cyborg Dad Mystery was on my auction last Saturday, which is a good segue into plugging this Saturday's auction the same time, 1 p.m. Central Time, to get some deals from myself and some other sellers on this channel right here. All the more reason to hit that bell notification so you don't miss anything. But Cyborg Dad Mystery won the giveaway. And so there you go. And you're more than welcome, Kaya B, and anyone that happens to win comics from me. And so there you go. So this is one of those things that was a long time in the making. Unfortunately, as many of you know, because you have submitted to either CGC or CBCS, that they are not moving at near the speed of which they used to move. In my little brain, I would have thought that they would actually have started moving faster rather than slower. With the con season going down, people were not submitting as many. However, I was mistaken. It must be that since con season is not going on, that people are actually submitting more books because they're saving the money for hotel rooms and all that other kind of stuff. And they've got books already in their PC that they want to submit, and they're going ahead and mailing them out and getting them submitted. This one was to CBCS, and the difference was I've submitted these back in July. Yeah, that's right. You heard me right. July of last year, when I was fortunate enough to be able to go to one of the last remaining cons after the whole, thing hit and the cons got shut down. And so, well, look at here. We've got Meow Meow up in the house. He heard something about a CBCS or CGC unboxing, and this guy, he's got slabs upon slabs. I think he can build an Empire State Building with his slabs. He's got so many, or pops for that matter. He's certainly got a lot, but so yeah, so I went to that con, and at that con they had a CBCS table. This was the first time that I had ever used CBCS. I've used CGC, of course, and I've used PGX. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but hey, I use PGX. And so I was using CBCS. One of my hesitancies from using CBCS was their cases. I wasn't really a big fan of their cases. I did not like the pink verified signature label that they used to use. They've rectified both of those problems for me. The other problem is that they are owned by a company of which I am very well acquainted because they are one of my competitors. And my hesitancy because of that company's financial dealings. Hopefully it never affects CBCS. Hopefully they sell it off to somebody when they run out. And who knows? Yeah, and my real reason, just as an aside, for using PGX was just that, because I like their cases better than I did CBCS's, and I like their label better than CBCS's. Obviously, CGC still has the pedigree, so to speak, with the gold label and the cases, minus the Newton rings and lack of customer service. Hello, CGC, is this thing on? Yes, that's right. Minus that, they obviously still have the market, at least for now, for those things. But I had bought some books, either pre-signed or got them signed at a con that didn't have a facilitator, or chose to spend my money on books as opposed to the facilitation of those slabs. And then later on, doubled back and wanted to submit those. Because of the labels, because of the cases, I chose to use PGX. And so I don't really have anything against PGX. I will say that their books don't typically sell as easy as CBCS's or CGC's. They certainly have a black eye. Some of it's probably warranted. Maybe they fixed some of the problems or not. This is not a PGX bashing video. I will say they are a viable alternative for some means, especially for inexpensive slabbing or the encapsulation. If you're not worried about selling a book and you want to get it back fast, use PGX. If you're going to just keep it in your collection. Or EGS, I think is the other one's name for that matter. But if you're wanting resale value, you're definitely going to have to still go to CGC. Unfortunately, hopefully the market will turn and give just as much weight. CBCS, I think, is gaining ground on that. I think CBCS has, with the cases, with the labels and other things that they're doing, they're gaining ground. They're just not there yet, unfortunately. And PGX certainly is not. Now, I will go ahead and say that tomorrow, hopefully, cross my fingers, I've got another thing coming in, and I will tell you it is a CGC unboxing because I am getting my books back from the Roy Thomas signing. Now, that's kind of a spoiler, because if you know which books I sent to the Roy Thomas signing, if you've been keeping up with my videos, you know what books that are coming in, and they're big boy books. And I already know what the grades are, but I'm not going to tell you, so no spoilers. But I will say that you're going to want to hit that bell notification so that you don't miss that. And having said that, let's go back to CBCS. So I submitted through CBCS, and I want to give CBCS the benefit of a doubt because of a bad facilitator. I never used this guy before. He owns a comic shop in Florence, Alabama. So for people up there, you can figure it out because there's only one comic shop in Florence, Alabama. And they might be a good guy to work with. He seemed like a really personable guy when I talked to him. But as far as getting his crap together, he don't. Okay. And he didn't have his stuff together. I called constantly because instead of, like I should have, and I believe Big Will did, because Big Will was there at that con with me, and I believe that he went through his CBCS account, which allowed him to log on to CBCS and see where the process was at on his books. So after a couple of weeks of submitting the books, I contacted the guy and said, hey, where are my books at? And he didn't get back with me, finally got back with me. And then going back and forth, I find that I eventually get them. So never really got a straight answer from the guy. So I did find out from Big Will, because he was able to get the dates that CBCS actually got the books, that it was a month after the whole con. So assuming that my books went out at the same time that Big Will's, that's a whole month off of that 6-month time period. So I got my books back from CBCS that I didn't have pressed. You live and learn on some of these things. And, so the books that I didn't have pressed, I got back like within 2 months. So if you subtract off the month that the facilitator took to get books to them and a month to get it back, that's personally very reasonable in my opinion. We've got Vincent McLean, the Comic Machine, just editing another video. So there's a plug for his channel. But yeah, so that was understandable. So I got those books back, and if you go back and watch that video, you'll see that I was pretty much happy with the grades that came back with. You really can't. It's great when you get those grades that you weren't expecting and stuff like that, but you kind of. But when you can pretty much be on point or just a half a point off, you should be happy. Everybody wants the 9.8, but come on, be real, people. The 9.8s are going to get rarer and rarer. That is, if they're accurately grading, because Diamond is destroying these books. You've got bindery tears, because as these books get thicker, you'll have more bindery tears. So then the question is whether or not the bindery tear is a manufacturer defect as opposed to a defect on the book, so on and so forth. That's just one of those things. And T. Ravis, what's going on, man? How are you? And so, yeah, Hidden Gems up in the house, subbing up some people. Yeah, sub up those other folks. They got stuff dropping all the time. I didn't know that CBCS, I had heard good things. Big Will always speaks really well of them. I had never used them before, as I previously said. So when I said, hey, I just want to get these 2 books pressed because I had an issue with them, then I didn't think it was going to take this long, to be honest with you. I had a bad experience with CGC. The one time I got them to press a book, they tore the cover off and never owned up to it. But as that aside, this was CBCS. So I got those books pressed. And as I previously stated, even after I got the other books back and I was not sure why these 2 were still out, so on and so forth, I contacted the shop in Florence, Alabama, and still never got anything. Great. Guess what, bud? I won't be using you next time. I hope there's another facilitator at Huntsville Comic Con, which this year is supposed to be in April. Cross our fingers, but they had it last year, and despite everything else, so let's hope that they still go on this year. It's supposed to be a great cast of characters, so we'll see who all is going to be there. But if you're in the area, be sure to check that out. I know myself, I'm sure 2 brothers, Big Will. There's a lot of YouTube folks up in that northern Alabama area. I'm not from northern Alabama. I'm from South Mississippi, but a 4 or 5 hour drive is nothing for me. Kind of one of the things of the job, right? I just kind of get to go around. But so I had these 2 books, and these were 2 big books. And I will go ahead and tell you what they were. There are 2 of the John Tyler Christopher negative space variants. Now, saying that, can you guess in the chat what these books were? I will tell you it wasn't the Spider-Woman one, because if you've been watching the channel, you know that I already unboxed a video, did an unboxing video for the Spider-Woman 1, or Strike Force 1, the Spider-Woman negative variant. So does anybody in the chat know which negative variants that these might be? He's actually started doing a lot of them, but these were some of the first. Good guess, but no, it's not. Spider-Man, that is a newer one. I do not have that one. That one spiked up before I got a chance to even get on that book. But it just kidding. Oh, that would be, yeah. And that's another one. Before I noticed, that thing had been spiked up, and I was like, I don't want to pay that much for that. Boom and boom. Yes, we do have the winners, chicken dinners. You win the Cupid doll, not these books, but you win the Cupid doll. How about that? So yes, these are the Rogue and Wolverine banana covers. I have 3 total Wolverine banana covers. Don't ask me why. I've thought about selling them. Not all of them, but 1 or 2 of them, and moving on to other things. So, excuse me, if you're interested, in that, let me know on Instagram and we can see if we can work out a deal. But the Rogue one has been elusive, or was elusive. I ordered it off of some weird website I never heard of, and I end up having to file a claim through PayPal to get my money back because they stood me up. Yes, Roger B., that is a good one as well. I unfortunately don't have that one yet. But these are the Rogue and the Wolverine banana covers. So let's start with the Wolverine one, since I already have two of those. This particular one, I know where I got it from because of why I had to get it pressed. So I bought a book from Michael Ackery, who does mystery boxes. I've ordered several from him before, but this one he was just posted on Instagram. Hey, here's a banana cover Wolverine. Are you interested in it? I bought it from him at a reasonable price. It got here and it was damaged. Curses UPS or USPS. Curses USPS. But he did right by me. He said, what do you want me to do? You can send it back. I can refund you the money, or I can give you a little money for pressing. I said, hey, let's just go with the pressing, because it didn't appear to break color. It was down in the very corner where the page turns. And I mean, it was like that, but it wasn't breaking color. So I felt like a presser could actually straighten things up. What's going on, Legion of Comics? How are you? He just did his 300 subscriber giveaway. If you're not familiar with the Legion, then go over there and check his channel out, or their channel out, right? Their channel out. So this is the one I feel like really put John Tyler Christopher on the map for negative space variants. This was one that was given away at C2E2. So I think that with C2E2, it also was a hype because that was the last major con of last year. There was only 3,000 of this book. This one is 2,059 of the 3,000. And it was just a really nice cover. This one was either the second or third. I think the third one I purchased was this one right here. And so, yeah, really, really nice cover. And pass me the banana. It could be yours. It could be yours. And so, like I said, there was the bin was right down here in the corner. And so here we go. Was it worth it to wait all this time for them to finally press it out? Boom! Yes, it was. It was definitely worth it. So to give you kind of an idea, there is $100 difference between the value of a 9.6 versus a 9.8. So paying $10 in pressing make all the difference if I'm planning on maybe one day selling the book, which I mentioned that I would be, because I have two other copies of this. The two other copies came back as 9.8s, no pressing needed. And this is one of the books I mentioned because there are bindery tears in the corners because the books are so thick that you get bindery tears in there. And so sometimes that's considered a manufacturer's defect, and therefore they don't take it off the grade. But yeah. This one was able to get it out. Now, looking down at the corner, you don't even see where it was bent out. So they did a good job in pressing. So shout out to CBCS. It took long enough, but hey, you got it done. Great work on your book. So this was the beauty. This Rogue is one of my favorite casts, especially of the X-Men, but in all, overall, I don't know if it was me just remembering her Southern accent along with my Southern accent, watching the X-Men cartoons from back in the day, the fact that she's from Mississippi or whatever. But yeah, so this is the Rogue John Tyler Christopher variant. This was from San Diego Comic-Con 2019. So this is copy 2,677 of 3,000. But just a gorgeous, gorgeous cover. I mean, the green goes directly with their eyes. I mean, just really nicely done. So yeah, this one, the reason I had chose to get this one pressed is because there were some non-color breaking ticks on the spine, and I was worried that this would go to say a 9.4 because there were several of them. None of them were color breaking, but there were several of them, and I was worried about this going down because this one right here, I mentioned the difference between a 9.6 and a 9.8. There's $200 difference between a 9.6 and a 9.8 of this beautiful book. So if I could get a 9.8, because I only paid $130 for this book raw. So on eBay, I was fortunate enough to finally find an eBay seller that had a couple of them and bought them on the cheap. So yeah, right, PLC. I was worried about this one, and so I took the chance. Now, was it worth it is the question, because this one currently lists higher than the Banana Wolverine cover. I think because this one slid under the radar, and the Wolverine one really blew John Tyler Christopher and these negative variants up, so people went back and tried to get these after the fact. But this one right here, boom, 9.8. That's right. The crowd goes wild. That's right, 9.8. So yes, definitely was an awesome pickup. And I might, if I got one on the cheap, I might get another one of those rogues, because those are just beautiful covers. But maybe not. Who knows? Yes, so that ended up being a 9.8. So 2 9.8s out of that CBCS. So those pressing guys over or gals over at CBCS certainly did their work. Yeah, so there you go. I was really happy about that. So that is all that I have today. Really, I was doing more of the build-up and talking about what's going down later on the channel. So as I mentioned earlier, but I noticed that there are 15 of you in here now. There is a pre-recorded video rant dropping later today, I believe at 2 o'clock Central Time. But if you hit that bell notification and are subscribed to the channel, you don't have to worry about missing it. What's going on, Varangian Vigilante? How are you? Look, late is better than never. And I will tell you, Varangian, since you are here, that my Conan 1 is coming back tomorrow. So I did spoil it a little bit when I said that I wouldn't, what some of those Roy Thomas signing books are going to be. But one of them is Conan #1 and is coming back tomorrow. So I've got a video dropping later today, pre-recorded. Tonight, I'm going to be on Thunder God's channel slinging some books. So if you're interested, I'll reach out to you on IG as well. And then tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central Time, I will be giving away that X-Men 4 to one lucky winner. And if you enter to win, every how many entries that is that you got in there, your name will be put on the wheel, and we'll spin it, and we'll see. We'll see who wins. And I also added in another little treat that if we get the channel to 800 subscribers by before the show is over tomorrow, then I will give away this book, Michael Turner, signed Civil War #5. And so if we can get that out. So share the channel out with everybody, and we will hopefully make it happen. Supposedly I'm getting the CGC books back. If I get them back tomorrow, I'm not sure whether I go live or whether I do a pre-recorded video. Probably do live, because I like the interaction between the chat, especially in the CGC books, because almost everybody has submitted books and got that great, got those grades back, and either were super happy or super sad. Yes. Well, the amazing thing about that BLC is I have books that are sitting there. One of them is a TMNT 1, a TMNT 4, the first Silver Age appearance of Two-Face, and then the first appearance of Red Hood, Batman 635 maybe. Those 4 books were submitted on October the 19th, or they received them on October the 19th. And they are still not moving. According to them, when you call, they say that they're in grading process, but according to the website, they do not say that. So my Roy Thomas books got in there in November, got signed December the 16th, and were mailed out on the 5th. So if that doesn't prove, because when I called CGC, I told them, I said, you are pushing all books that are not these signature series to the back of the line. They said, oh, no, sir, we're not doing that. If that doesn't prove my point that they're pushing everything back to the back of the line for these signatures or these signings, in-house signings, then I don't know what does. They're pushing those things back. I think they make more money on the in-house signings and can turn around those books pretty quick. So anybody that submits anything through CGC right now, it's like being in the Army. Hurry up and wait, because you're not going to go anywhere quick unless you pay the extra for fast track. In which case, especially if you're getting a modern book that you think that you might flip, there's not enough margin in those books to warrant paying those fast tracks. And if you wait on their turnaround time, then by the time you get a book back, the steam's come off the book, and it's not worth what you thought it might be. So yeah, here's Vincent doing a little plug for his deal as well. Just in time to hear a CGC rant. Yes, there is always a CGC rant or two. You'll certainly hear one when I get my books back from CGC tomorrow, provided they actually get here. Hopefully UPS operates a little bit better than that. Have book signing for, yeah. And modern spec is crazy, man, because and I know I'm not telling the chat anything that they don't already know, but modern spec is so crazy. The FOMO is so real that people are buying books up and then trying to sell them for astronomical prices. And when you're selling, that's great. When you're buying, it sucks. Some of the value is warranted, but some of these books, they're not worth it. And me personally, a book that just came out, I have a hard time paying $100 for when it just came out. It's not proven itself. Now, a book that was a limited print run a couple years back, or especially like a Silver Age book. Oh yeah, well, it's had time to prove itself. You buy a Silver Age book, it rarely goes down. It might stay there for a while before it actually inches back up. But yeah, yes, most modern spec is self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah, that's it. People are saying, hey, this is the newest thing, and people go, oh, really? It is? CBCS is literally down the street from Titan Comics in Dallas too. There you go. Yeah, I noticed that when I put that in the GPS that day. And I have one other book that I'm expecting from CBCS. I need to call that comic shop that I got Ray Park to sign my stuff at, because he signed that Snake Eyes book, and that book is there. But it's been like how long has that been since I was out there in Dallas, Vincent? 2 weeks? And then you got Christmas and New Year's and all that kind of stuff in the middle of that too. Comic Mag Musings, what's going on? Let's see. My books have been sitting since September the 14th. I emailed them 2 days ago, and lo and behold, the status changed. Great. Yeah. Look, I've tried. I've called, and I said, look, it's nothing personal against you. I know you only work for this company, but you cannot expect for the market to continue to value you as the top tier company when you treat your people like this. And, hire people, or, you can't think that the margins are that great in an encapsulation process that they can continue to eat all the mistakes they're making too. And they own up to most of the mistakes. I told you earlier they didn't own up to the tearing off of the cover, but when it's obvious that they made the mistake, like when they swapped the labels on my Tomb of Dracula 10 and my Werewolf by Night 32, they didn't own up to that and fixing that. Does anyone know the time frame for CGC to update submission tracking when they receive a book? My first time. Certainly feel free. I know BLC has done an awful lot of CGC stuff, and he can certainly opine on that. In my experience, they are pretty quick about entering it in the system, saying, hey, we got it. Now, getting it past that point is another story altogether, and that's kind of some of our complaints. is that the process is moving way too slow. And I don't think that most people that I see rants from, I don't think any of them are being unreasonable. I think that it is very reasonable that your books be turned around in a certain amount of time, especially when the CGC signature signings, the in-house signings they have, proves that they have the manpower to do the books and get them out in a timely fashion. They're pushing everybody else's books to the back. So to me, it kind of feels like let's see. To me, it kind of feels like there you go. Jump in if you want to. To me, it kind of feels like that they're saying, hey, look, this is an easy way for me to raise prices, just like DC's doing. So if you've got DC Future State yesterday, you notice that the prices for the regular books are $7.99 or $8.99 for the cardstock paper. So, whoa, that's a far cry from the $4.99 cardstock. That's $4. And so that's crazy. So, but when they come back from Future State, all the prices go down, not to $4.99 to $5.99 for cardstock, or $4.99 for regular paper. So this is their way of inching you in. You're like, oh no. And DC is trying to make up for what they know are going to be lackluster sales on Future State too. But it's also a way that when they come back, oh, you should be thankful. Look at, we lowered the price really well. So this is CGC's way of raising prices, because people are automatically going to say, we need these things faster. And they're going to say, well, if you want us to hire more people, then we're going to have to charge more. And now we're going to welcome to the stream BLC, a CGC aficionado here. What's going on, BLC?
What's going on? Thank you for having me. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you too.
So there was a question in the chat about first time at CGC. Well, right now they're so far behind. From what I know is, because I have, when I send my books, I have a tracking number, and once the tracking number book gets there, it takes about 2 weeks before they even put it in receiving, before you even see it on the website when you log in. So, and then from the time they get it from receiving is when the time starts to tick, where it, when it says 85 working days, that's the date it starts from. So it takes about 2 weeks before they even put it in the system. And then if it's a value tier, it's about 86 working days. Modern is about 30 something. I'm not quite sure offhand right now, but yeah, so they're really, really backed up right now. Everybody's just sending books. I mean, with the COVID and everything, everybody's just, what are you going to do? Send books in and everything. So hang in there. Eventually you'll get them.
Well, the thing is, though, when they can turn around the signature series stuff so fast, that proves they have the manpower to do it, though.
Okay, here's the thing. I sent 2 in-house signings, 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one's in October, still saying receiving. I sent another one about a month after that, already got it signed and already came back, and I already had it here. So
did the guy actually sign it? Do you know that?
Yeah. Okay. So the second one that I sent in, which was a month later, was signed, graded, and sent back, which I already received. Okay. The first one that I sent it for in-house signing, it's still sitting there in receiving. It's 2 different people signing, so I don't know what the issue is with that. But again, you can't say in-house signings are a little faster, because I sent one in earlier, still haven't received it, send one after, and I already got it back.
Well, yeah, but I know when I called asking when Roy Thomas was actually going to sign the books, they were very hush-hush on that. Wow. And they said, hey, they don't really tell us. He just shows up and starts signing the book.
So it's that's out of their hands when it comes to that, because they, it's a sign-in book. So, you have to wait for the guy to sign it. So depending what's going on there, they should give you an update, something saying, hey, we know you have your books here for signing. We are waiting for the person to show up, at least something to say, hey, this is what's going on with that, because right now everybody's the same way. Everybody's asking, hey, where's my books? What's taking so long? And I'm in the same boat. I haven't called yet, but I'm definitely gonna have to make a phone call, see what's going on.
Well, and I told the people at CGC, which I will give CGC this, they have American customer support. So you can call them, you can understand them.
Exactly.
And CBCS doesn't have that yet. So when I call the people, I said, you get a lot of calls, I'm sure, like mine. And they go, oh, yeah. And I said, you could, if your system would update people a lot easier, that's a few strokes of the keyboard. That's a lot easier than getting on the phone, saying your pleasantries, getting chewed out, and you could push people to the website more. That makes sense. Right. Why would you not do that? That doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, if you haven't noticed that CGC did videos where they show the process of how they grade books and everything. So they went out and did that. That's fine and dandy, giving the information how they proceed, what to do that. But again, customer service right now, they're so backed up. Again, they know books are flying in. They're overwhelmed right now. They know it. They're overwhelmed because it never used to took 2 weeks to even get in the system. Used to be as soon as they got there, about a day right after, boom, it was in the system. Now it takes about 2 weeks for that to happen. So they have to expand their building or whatever it is. They have to expand. If they have to open up a second place or something, in Florida, whatever it is, because right now it's booming right now, and they're getting overwhelmed. And customer service, they have to step that up just a little bit. Some type of notification say, hey, your book's here. Thank you for patiently waiting. Something, because right now it's just insane, because that's all I see is everybody's backed up.
Right. And, with CGC, they are trying to hire. Now, how hard they're trying to hire, I don't know. They might be paying peanuts. I don't know. But they've got a lot of jobs posted. So if you're in the Florida area, go check CGC out. Yeah. But they are trying to hire over there. Now, one thing that I did learn, and I think it's a good tip for anybody that's especially never submitted to CGC or CBCS and even PGX, and I will save that for tomorrow's video about PGX and pressing and grading in particular, but pressing. So there's a little teaser. Don't send your books to be pressed at these companies, because you're asking for problems. I told you how long it took my books from CBCS. Luckily, they came back in one piece. I have submitted to CGC, and the book didn't come back with one piece. It came back as a detached cover. Now, there are a lot of pressers in the comic book community that do an awesome job. I know that BLC uses Erod 212. If you're not familiar with him, check him out. He does I've never personally used him, but I've heard nothing but great things from everybody who has used him before. I know that Jimmy, the geek aficionado, I know he does pressing. He has done some of my pressing before. Eric, who is the comic_presser, he has been doing my latest pressings and has gotten good results. But yeah, find you a presser that you can trust, that knows how to do his magic, and send it there. So it takes a little forward thinking doing that, right? Because you can't just go grab it and send it off. You've got to forward think, because it's going to take time to get to the presser. It's got to go from him to there. You also got to think, if you're going to try to flip books, how much extra cost between shipping and all that other kind of stuff that it's going to take for you to get it back. But that is always the best way. Do not use their pressing service, because it is going to do nothing but hold it up. BLC, don't you have a code or something for Erod?
For Erod, well, it's a Warriors code, and I believe that it's a pressable defects code also now. If you use either one of those codes, you get 10% off. Use a Warrior or pressable defects. Can't use both for 20, no. But again, if you send him to get your books pressed, he can also submit your books to CGC and CBCS, which he gets 15% off. So if you go through Erod, you get total of 25 total if you go through him. But again, guys don't understand. If you get your books pressed, okay, and you're going to keep it, the pressing does not hold. It goes away. It's not going to stay that way. If you're going to get press your book, it's because people are going to press it to get it graded, right, so it can get that high bump grade. People don't make the mistake of, I'm going to get my pressed books and I'm going to get it back and just have it like that, and it's just going to stay. It's not going to stay that. You're just wasting your money. Right. Books to get graded, because you want that bump grade, because it does go back, it's just a pressing, it's only temporary.
Well, it's just like when you iron your clothes. I mean,
Exactly.
it's only temporary. And so somebody I was talking to, I forget who it was the other day, they go, hey, I think I'm going to press it. I said, well, I'm assuming you're going to send it off to get it graded. And they said, no, I don't know. And true enough, it does look better, right? But as BLC says, it doesn't stick. So don't waste $10 or whatever it's going to cost you to press it.
Exactly.
To do.
And another thing, a lot of people, cons and stuff like that, this is what happens a lot. This is what holds up the line when you're at CGC and probably CBCS at cons. People bring in their books to get, sent in. Says, you can do this at home at yourself. You can fill out the form on the computer, print it out, and mail your own books from home. Okay, you don't have to actually go to a con and wait online for in 3 or 4 hours just to submit your books. You could do this at home. Again, if you're not getting pressed, if you're gonna get impressed, of course, send them to whoever you're gonna get impressed at, and then either that person, like I said, Rock can send it in for you if you want, or he can send it back to you and then you send it in. You can do this at home. You don't have to go to a con to send in your books. You don't have to go through a third party, unless it's some signature series. That's different that you have to go through. But if you have books that you have at home, you can just from right here, from your own home, pack them up, send them, it's pretty much easy at CGC. You do the forms and stuff like that, and then just mail them. I believe CBCS could probably do the same thing. I'm not quite sure because I haven't, you probably know more than I do because I don't do CBCS, but if they do that?
Mm-hmm.
And you do that, well, see, that makes it a whole lot easier, and you can have it mailed right back to your house. I mean, and then you could look at on CBC. I don't know about CBCS, but CGC, if you have an account, which I think they have a free one, and you can see the tracking. You can follow it across. You can see when they mail it, and stuff like that. So, that's the way I was doing it before I started pressing my books. I was just send it from here. But now,
and so on CBCS, it doesn't matter whether you got the book or not. You don't have to pay for grader's notes. You can scan that little QR code and figure out what the grader's notes are. So on CGC though, if it's not under your account, then you've got to pay for those grader's notes. So what BLC is saying, and this is what I do with my presser, I submit the books. I do the order form online for CGC. Like when I did the signature series, I did it under my account.
Yes.
I sent to him with the packing information for it to go to CGC. So he never sent it back to me. He never had to file anything. All he had to do is pack it back up and send it to CGC. And because CGC has my info already, then they send it back to me. So it does take one extra step out of the mail process. So one less time it could get messed up. And so, yeah, I mean, that's the way to do it. And then if you're using CGC, because especially, but even CBCS, because if you do that, you can go on there and check the progress. You don't have to call, you don't have to email and all them people back. Let's see, Bub saying when I press at home and a 9.8 is needed, I always use fast pass grading to make sure the book keeps the press. And that's a great point, Bubs, because depending on how bad the book is, how fast that press is going to, or how long that press is going to last.
Right. But, again, you get it pressed. Of course, I send multiple books, so pretty much it's still stacked up pretty good. So that pressing is going to hold for a little while in the book. But again, I recommend you guys signing up for either CGC, CBCS, whatever it is. Get an account number because it does have benefits. Like, for instance, I went for a Clayton Crane signing in a PA comp bookstore, okay, for signing. When I went there to fill out the form, they asked me, do you want to use your account? I said, yes. I put my account number, I fill out the paperwork, and then I do the signing there. But again, it's under my account. I can follow it across. When they receive it, when they're going to send it out, instead of going through them there and not knowing when they get it, when I'm going to get it back, again, this does have benefits of having your account, so you can go on the account and see, where it is and how, when you're going to get it back and stuff. So it does have its benefit, guys.
Well, and especially if you're going to do it multiple times, it pays. I think that CGC has a free account now. I think used to they didn't, but they have a free account, and CBCS is much the same way. You've got the free level, really no perks. It's just the fact that you can log in and see your stuff. But some of the other ones, if you check out their perks, if you're going to be submitting a lot, they give a credit. Like CGC, before I got all hacked off with them for this latest debacle, It's like $150 credit. I mean, basically the price for the year membership I got off in a credit. So basically the membership was free, and then future submissions is like $10.
Yeah. And if you do an advanced payment, like they take like $15 off or something like that, so you save again more. But again, I have my tracking up here. I'm gonna see if I can try to share it so you get to see what I'm talking about. All right, here's my tracking submission, guys. This is what it looks like. As you can see, my other orders that I already had done, they say when they send it back, you know, you can look up what your order was, how many books in the red. As you can see, I have books still sitting there and receiving, and it tells you the date. Remember, when they get it receiving date, that's the date they start counting when you do your turnarounds. Okay, so it's right now it's 86 days for value. So starting from that receiving date is where the 86 days start. Now, remind you, it took 2 weeks while my books were already there to get to receiving. So tack on another 2 weeks plus the 86 days, how long those books are going to be there. So this is what I have right now, and I do have another order already sent, which is not there yet. It'll probably take another 2 weeks before that comes up. But yeah, that's what it looks like. And that's the cool thing about this. But again, and I don't know about CBCS, but CGC, you can actually put your books in and keep track like the list of all your books and everything. You can look it up. So that's what I got there. And so let me just get out of that. Yeah. So it's pretty much simple, you know, easy stuff. And let me see. I'll show you what it looks like if you guys have CGC, what it's supposed to look like a list. Oh, second. Let's go about this sharing screen stuff. I just do it.
So to answer Daniel, CGC, once they receive the books, they charge you. So like when you do the order form, they don't charge you right then. No. So like I do the order form, I send it to the presser. He might take a week or two, whatever, before he sends it off. Well, once they get it and they catalog it in, that's when they charge you.
Yeah, so. Yes, as soon as they put them receiving, that's when they receive the book, and that's when they charge you. Oh, wait a minute. Did I do that wrong? Yeah, that's wrong. That's not it. Okay. Sooner or later, I'll get it right. Let me see. It should be this one. There you go. Did I do it right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there it is. All right. So this is the list. So once I get my books and I find the category, I make a set with the name, and I can always go back and look. You know, I have it all. It's basically in alphabetical order, and then it tells you, you know, how many books you have. You can always look it up, your sets, and you can actually look at other people's stuff and what they have. You'll be amazed when you go on here and see what people have. Is incredible.
Yeah. So that's the registry, right?
Yeah, that's the registry, and you know, and it goes alphabetical order and stuff like that. You keep track of all you see. This is only for CGC, guys. You can only put CGC because you got to put the numbers in.
Yeah, so CBCS just started doing a registry last year.
Nice.
I think they went back and pulled it all out. So now that data is kind of out there, now unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of crossover. So like when you crack a book and send it to CBCS, or you send it to them to crack because you want to get rid of the CGC, or vice versa. So they might have one book on there in that grade, and CGC might have one book on that grade, but they're actually one book, if that makes sense. So it's on the registry of both places, but it's actually the same book. So I don't know what kind of effect that's going to have on the market overall. Because until they start sharing some of their information and play nicely like that, because for example, there might be on, let's say a lesser known book, but like ASM 252 or something, they might say there's 50 between the two censuses, but really in reality, there's really only 30 grades because some of them have been cracked and sent to the other one.
Right. So that happens too, because I had a Spawn black and white variant, a 9.2. I sent it to Erod. He cracked it. He pressed it. I sent it. I resubmitted it, and I got it back. Came back a 9.6. So now it still says, you know, I still had the label 9.2, but now it's a 9.6. The same book is now a 9.6, not a 9.2. So really, technically, it's only one book, but it's registered twice. So, so that's what happens when people crack them or send them to CBCS, to CGC, so the numbers out there, they're not accurate, of course, people cracking them, getting pressed or whatever the case may be. So it's different. So this is my X-Men one there, issues. As you can see the title name, you put the certification number, the grades and stuff like that. So, this is what I have. That's why I try to keep CGC, and I can't cap both because then I lose track of what I have.
So, how many slabs do you got, BLC?
I say about 600, about 600 now. A little over 6.
600. How many comics do you have overall?
About 6,000.
Okay. So, wow. So 10% of your collection is in slabs.
Yeah, and it's gonna change because what I'm doing right now is I'm actually going through my long boxes and I'm getting all my multiple copies that I have, and I'm gonna get them. Well, not all of them, but certain titles, and I'm getting them graded, and I'm keeping the high ones, and then I'm just gonna sell the rest. I'm getting rid of the rest of the slabs. Yeah. So if you guys didn't see I think like not my last auction before, something like that, I just started selling my Inhumans runs, a couple of books here and there, my doubles, and I got more Inhumans series. So basically, I'm doing my Iron Fist. And I'm basically going through Nova, all my old time books, and I'm just gonna get rid of my X copies that I have there, and I'm just gonna keep the slabs because they're easy to move around.
Right.
Even though they weigh more. But, I can just stack them up.
Well, they are easy to move around and they're easy to remove. So, like, if you want to sell them, when it's slab.
Easy to pack, easy to sell because all the information is already down there. And now that I'm getting them pressed, I'm actually spending more money on these slabs and, still selling them pretty cheap. So, don't think I'm making money when I do my auctions. So I tell you right now, I'm actually, I'm like a little on the losing side, but I really don't care because I just take whatever money's left and just buy more stuff, more stuff for my PC. So it's still, still like a turnaround.
So how many pops do you got?
I believe about 100.
Yeah, because that's looks like a whole store back there.
I got about 100 of those. I have definitely over 100 die casts of my planes. If you didn't see that video, I got over 100 of those. Not only that, I have my DVD collection of the TV series of back in the days. Thundercats, Transformers, G.I. Joe, stuff like that. A couple of action figures, Pokemon cards, baseball cards. It's just like never ending. Yeah, it's just I actually have to do an unboxing later for some stuff that's not comic book related. If you guys don't know, I do have a video which I do what I found out, what I found outside the cat litter box. That's stuff that I find that's not comic books. They're usually something else. It could be action figures, Funkos, DVDs, or whatever the case may be. So.
Oh wow! Yeah, I knew you did. Yeah, I never related that to outside the litter box there.
Yeah, that's what that is called. That's just not comics; it's just other stuff. So if you haven't seen it, that's like prints and stuff that I got, like a drawings, DVD, whatever the case may be. I always find stuff. So I'm always constantly giving stuff away during the auctions. Not big stuff, little stuff, here and there. If you guys didn't see. Whatever slabs I was selling, I was actually giving away Hot Wheel cars. I was giving Hot Wheel cars for every slab I was selling, so people were grabbing those up. If you want some books, I was giving out some magnets. It's like nonstop here. And of course, I do giveaways during my auction too. What is up right now is this. This is on my free giveaway video. Superman Unchained, the New 52. It's a great book, brand new. Scott Snyder, Jim Lee, Scott Williams, Anna Sinclair, Dustin Nugent. All right. All you have to do is go to that video, enter there. The winner will be picked on Saturday's auction. I believe my next auction will be the 16th. So I'm always constantly giving this out. I use the super chat money to buy stuff to give away. So basically, when I get super chat, I will be, I just give stuff away, more stuff away. But this year, I will be recording. Anybody does give me a super chat, I'm gonna put you on a different drawing just for super chats alone, and I'm gonna give away something a little something different for the people that give me super chat money, and only the people that give me super chat money will be entered into that. I haven't received the item yet. Once I receive it, I will be posting it out there. I can just tell you right now, it's going to be like an action figure that I pre-ordered, and it still ain't here yet. Well, I ordered
you got a big book. You got a big book right there beside your elbow there, that G.I. Joe #1.
Oh, this is like my third copy. This is just basically a reader copy. I got this from Joker M21's auction. It was a lot of books, and this was part of it. So yeah, I got that. It does have a spiral. But again, anytime I see this book, I grab it up. I actually have one signed by Hannah.
Okay.
It's not graded. I should have got it graded, but no.
Yeah, I met him in 2019. He was at a con about 2 hours from my house. I mean, it was a real small con. It was just him and one other guy who was a movie actor of some kind.
Yeah,
that was signing, and real nice guy. Got him to sign the books.
Well, most of the time they are. A lot of these guys. This when I met Clayton Crane at the comic book signing, man, great guy. Oh my God, nice guy. Talk to you and everything like that. Who could talk your ear off is Sorenko. Sorenko got into your ear like nonstop, but he's so happy to see you, shakes your hand, and everything. And that's what you like, man. You like people like that, So, yeah, I could. If people always ask me the same question, "What's your favorite hero? What's your favorite book?" My answer always everything. Everything I like, and that's me. When I'm out there, I'm buying a little modern, I buy a little bronze, I buy a little silver. It's like nonstop. Whatever I like is what I go for.
Yeah.
That's why it looks like this. It's just books everywhere.
So, are you cutting back? Because I hear this a lot of times from different collectors. Are you cutting back on your weekly pull list?
My weekly pull list, that's tough because I do have a pull list, but it's only like 4 issues. But when I go to the LCS or whatever, I'm picking up tons more. So,
right.
Again.
So I guess if the better question would be, are you cutting back on newly released comics in order to focus on everything else?
No. I just spend money like crazy. If you haven't seen my videos, I do more unboxings than anything else. If it's not an unboxing with CGC, it's just another unboxing of an auction. If it's unboxing from a website or a mystery box, whatever it is, it's like, it's just tons of stuff keeps coming in here, and I'm more happy with unboxings and stuff like that. That's my joy. That's what I like. When books are coming in, the auction thing is it's just a side thing. I don't mind doing it. It's like that's more like hanging out with friends and stuff like that. But when I do the unboxings or when I watch other people, just see what they get. The face, the excitement of what they got. Like when you just showed your negative stuff, man. That's what I get fed off. I love that. People going out and shopping and meeting people, like you said, or who you talk to, and you met other YouTubers. That's key. That's it. That's the main thing I love about this community. Right now you just see tons of auctions. Everybody has auctions. When I first started a couple of years ago, there was only a couple. There wasn't that many. All of a sudden that just blew up. I don't know, it's because everybody's home, COVID, they want to sell their books or whatever the case may be. But but again, that just opens the door. Now you have more auctions, that you got more places to go to buy more books. Now I see more things that, hey, I want to get this. Oh, I want to go in there, I want to grab that. I don't care who the hell is selling it. As long as the price is right, the conditions right, and I need it, I'm going for it. I bid on it. I don't care where it goes. But as you can see, I always got tons of stuff coming in.
Oh yeah. And that's fun, but there's something about getting out there. Unfortunately, right now, certain places you're a little more locked down than others.
Yeah.
Hopefully that some of the cons will start to open back up this year.
I miss it. Because I have a little category thing when I do my cons too. I meet a lot of people. I've been started going back to cons for the first time. So first time I went to East Coast, never been there. Excitement, never been there. Couldn't wait to see what it was. Had a great time. Went to Baltimore for the first time. Con. Awesome time, great time. Again, I met a lot of YouTubers, a lot of stuff. Went to New York Comic Con for the first time, which is hard to believe when I, originally lived in New York, but I never had the opportunity to go either because either I was working or I couldn't get a ticket. It was either one or the other, and I was like, whatever. Finally went to one. What's up, Jose Gonzalez? Spidey, my man, Spidey tumblers. As you can see, I got the logo. I got 2 of these tumblers. Again, that I missed. That I cannot wait to go. 2020 was supposed to be my year to go to a lot of cons. I had it all planned out. I was actually off. Didn't work out. So
yeah, because you, me, and Big Will had talked early on last year about all the cons, because I had like 20 on the list that I planned on going to, and a lot of that went away, unfortunately. But I think that some of them are going to come back this year. But what I've been kind of thinking is because it seems that a lot of the YouTubers are kind of clustered, meaning that there's certain areas that a lot of YouTubers live in, and that could drive into that one focal place, and is just kind of getting, seeing those areas and getting with those people in that area, and then drive in or whatever, and just getting together and having our own con, so to speak, because not that we're selling books, but because we're just hitting up the shops and checking things out and doing it that way. But
yeah. You're talking about the crawls.
Yeah.
I went to 2 different calls. I did one here in PA with Nemesis Prime, Mike. Doc Cop was supposed to be there. We were trying to get 36 Chambers also, but he didn't feel well that day. We hit a couple of stores. That was fun. That was the first time, doing all that. That was a lot of fun. But then I finally had the opportunity to do the Connecticut crawl with 3 Men in the Basement, a couple of Warriors and stuff like that. That was exciting too. Met Josh, Graf also on there. That was fun. So that's like, that's a getting together. And I also went to a New Jersey toy show, a couple of Warriors there. Not only they had action figures, I bought some books. If you didn't see the video on that, did a video on that. So I bought some books on that. That was exciting. Again, yeah, cons. I miss it, man. All I hear great things about C2E2 in Chicago. Never been to Chicago. Love to do that con. I wanted to go to Heroes Con, which is in North Carolina. They say that's a good one too. Again, there's so many cons, terrific cons. Another one that was in Connecticut. I've never been to that one. So many exciting things to do. Not just for the books, but just to meet people and in that area. And it's going to be an awesome time. So I'm hoping that 2021 turns around. Not that the vaccines are going out, but I believe they did post Baltimore Con up. I don't know if that's going to be up and running yet, but they did post it up. They did. I think they have a date already, but I don't know if that's going to be 100. Right now, I don't know if artists are going to be there yet or whatever, or anything like that. But yeah. So yeah.
Well, Bubs had acted like he was going to try to hop on here, because what he was doing with CGC. He's actually trying to have a certain collection. Let's see, be like the top 20 on the CGC registry for Planet Comics. So let's see. Daniel says got to LA Con in September, but we shall see if it still goes on. Yeah, some of them are waiting to the last minute because they just don't know. And
well, again, cons depend. A lot of people, artists and writers, to see if they're going to show up. So,
there's a lot of money that these people that put on these cons. There's a lot of money on the table, right? When they're paying these people to show up, they're paying for the space and all that other kind of stuff. So if they're supposed to have 30 people signing autographs, they know that's what's drawing people largely. That's what's getting the vendors to come bring their stuff, because they know that the people are going to be there to see the people and dig through the boxes. And if those people all of a sudden say, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it, are the people still going to show up? And, that's what they got to worry about.
Well, trust me, when it comes to comic books, when I went to the toy show, at the surprised to see how many people showed up. I mean, people are dying to get out and buy stuff. Collectors collect. They can't stop themselves. So if any con or anything opens up, yeah, you're gonna get a crowd. You're definitely gonna crowd if the word gets out. Yeah, I don't see people not showing up. I think they will show up. Like, again, if even if the artists are not there or whatever, because it happens. They post, oh, this artist is supposed to be there, or last minute he canceled. It was supposed to be there, but people still end up going there because, again, books or whatever the case may be, people want to buy stuff. So it's disappointing, but we're all itching to go out. I know I'm always buying stuff, man. Like I got orders, pre-orders. I got all kinds of stuff waiting to come in. But with the mail right now, oh my goodness, it is so far behind. I sent my books out from my last auction, and I got the tracking numbers in. I track them. They still not there, and this is in December. All right, and they're still not there. People still waiting. That's there's not much I can do. I went to the post office. As soon as I packed them up, and when they get there, still on its way.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like certain areas of the country, if I get stuff from there or send stuff to there, they get it like they're supposed to. And then if it's coming out of New York, you can forget it, and or California, you can forget it. I mean and I guess it's because they use they got so much going on. It says use UPS ground. Yeah, the only problem in doing auctions, like especially if you're selling stuff, is you're adding extra cost onto the seller because the buyer rather, because the seller is not going to eat that. We got Flash by Night up in the house. How are you doing? Hidden Gem said earlier that he just got a CLZ for the year. So yeah, look, I don't know what people do that don't have CLZ. Or some other form of keeping up with what they got. I guess that what they do is they end up buying doubles of stuff that they already had. But
I do that. I do that all the time because sometimes you come across a book you already got and the price is right and the condition might be better what you have at home. You don't even know it, so you're not going to pass it up. You're going to grab it and take it with you. That's why I have multiple copies here. So again, sometimes they're so close to familiar. Like if you're going to get them graded, you're like, all right, if you're going to send one out of the two, which one are you going to send? And if they're both so close, you're like, but you want to keep a better grade for yourself. So you know what? You might as well just send both of them in. And if they come back to both the same grade, then you sell one, or one comes loading out, you keep the higher one, you sell the other one.
So for everybody that's not familiar with BLC, certainly go check him out and sub up his channel. And I guess you would have had to been under a rock to not be familiar with him. But he, this guy, CGC ought to really send this guy a Christmas card every year because he spends a buttload of money with CGC getting that stuff slabbed, and because you were on what, Discovery Bay's channel the other day, and they were doing some math, or he was on your channel, one of the two.
Yeah, he was on mine. On mine. Yeah. We were talking about that. I think who that was in the chat too, and so we were saying that I got about 40 books at CGC now, over 40. So then they started doing the math, and then I did what the funny was, that show that I was doing was an unboxing from Erod Press Books. So I was showing the books that I just got back from getting pressed. It was 40 books, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to separate these and I'm going to send them to CGC. So I did send some of them in. I didn't send them all because it does cost a lot of money. So I did send most of them in, which is my last order that I just went to the post office and sent, but I still have some of them here. But I like to get them back from getting pressed and like to separate them myself, because when I do it myself, again, I separate it, modern, value. And if I decide to get a special label on it, when you do a special label for CGC, that's a separate order.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So it could be let's say it's a modern book. You can send your modern book order, but if you're going to get a modern book order with a special label, that's a separate order. So again, that's shipping is different from that one. It's two different orders. So you got to send shipping for that modern and shipping for that. So that's why they break it down, which I think it makes no sense to me. I mean, if it's a modern order, if you're getting some labels on some of the books, it should be one order. That's my opinion. Same thing with the value, but this is what they get you. So you got to pay for more shipping. So
right,
tons of books,
And so it takes a little more forethought, kind of like what we were talking about with pressing. But when you're doing your order with CGC or CBCS, which CBCS does not have those character labels, the owner of CBCS, or really it's not technically the owner anymore, I guess, but part owner, whatever, the head of CBS president, he does not like those those character labels. And I go back and forth on it, but it takes a little more forethought. But if you're sending in, do a good order of modern books. What's the max before they start charging you more for shipping? Is it 20 BLC?
Well, the way I do it is like when I'm doing my order, and I try to get the most books I got for shipping costs. Okay. Like, but I have a limit, like I believe it's 15 books value. When you get to 15 books value, it's like a certain amount of shipping costs. Okay. It stops there. But then if you add another book, then it goes up. So let's say that if you sent in 14 books instead of the 15, the shipping cost is still the same. So you're not paying more for shipping. So why, lose that extra space where you're just paying for the book, not paying for extra shipping? Try to do the limit that way. I believe 10 is the other way around. You go to 10 books, again, it stops at a certain shipping cost. If you did 9 books, you're paying for the same shipping cost. So try to get the limit you can for shipping costs. This way you get the max that you can.
Right.
If you go to 11, then you're paying for extra shipping costs, where you can go from where if you're going to do 11, you're about to do 15 because you're not paying more for shipping costs.
Well, and then the other thing is making sure it's in the right tier. So you not only have the thing with the labels, but you have what tier it is. So it takes a little homework, but it's really worth your time to check into it. Because if you're like me and most collectors, we just pile up books, say, hey, this is the ones I want to get graded, right? You can't just send this into the presser because they're going to eat your lunch when it comes to paying that shipping cost. So these are some books that I've got that are looking to go to the presser. This is Werewolf by Night. Let me do this right here. So this is Werewolf by Night 37. This is Moon Knight's 3rd appearance.
Nice.
Little Star Wars Doc Afra number 3.
Okay.
Legacy number 1. That's Adam Hughes cover. And for the record, I bought this when it came out. So I wasn't getting into like everybody else does with these Star Wars. Star Wars Tales number 24. This is a photo cover, but this one's something special because check that out. Newsstand.
Okay.
So, yeah, I bought that from Barnes & Noble, and so when Barnes & Noble was selling floppy comics, they were considered newsstands. Star Wars Episode 1, that's not a photo cover, but it looks awful close.
Flashback Night has a question. Do you know the limit on smaller orders, 3 to 5? Yeah,
go ahead.
Again, that's tough. Like I said, when you do the forms, if you're doing it at home, you can go back and forth to see how much they cost, and then again, add a book to see how much that's going to be. That's how I was doing it. I was doing, adding a book and see how much it was. And when I got to that point where it went over on shipping, then I said, all right, well, I'm only going to send them. But you're better off sending more than 5 because it really, waste your money. I would send a little more. If you're going up to 5, do 10. Do a 10.
Well, and it's just like buying books off eBay, right? Or on an auction. A lot of times people want to get as many books for their shipping cost as opposed to ship. So it's the same concept, because if you send 3 books and they're charging the same shipping as what they would charge you for 10 books, as an example, it makes sense just wait, if you're counting pennies, just to wait and send the 10 books when you got it, because you can dollar cost average that shipping cost out over 10 books as opposed to 3. Now, you might say, well, it doesn't really matter to me. Well, it will once you go to sell it, if you're not wanting to lose money. And I don't think any of us want to lose money. Sometimes we do, but none of us want to. This is Detective 400 right here.
I like that one.
First Man Bat. I bought this for $1.
Nice. That's awesome. That's a steal right there.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then I got this Batman number 13.
Parachuting. Nice. Wow.
Yeah. So,
That's oldie stuff, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Golden Age goodness right there. So yeah, I mean, this is what I've got to send to the presser, but I'm going to kind of sift through it because I don't want to get eaten up by that shipping cost.
Yeah.
So some of the stuff I'll just wait
Mm-hmm.
on shipping until I can get more of that stuff together. But yeah, so that's a good one, Hidden Gem. Doc Afra, just wait till she gets announced on something, and there you go. You really got something.
So before I knew anything about pressing, before I even got on YouTube and stuff like that, I was sending my books in personal to get graded, and everybody was telling me about these pressing thing. Get your books pressed. So I started doing that. Now I'm spending more money getting my books pressed, but it does work out at the end because I've seen the difference where the grades when a books that I sent in before they were pressed. And now the pressing now, when I'm getting the grades, there is a difference. They are coming back slightly higher grade with the pressing now. So I've learned to do it that way. And like I said, I did send a book that I had a 9.2, which was not pressed, which of course I sent it in myself, so I know it wasn't pressed. Sending it to the press, he cracked it, pressed it, and it came back from a 9.2 to a 9.6. So that book value went up, and was it worth it? Yes. And I've sold a X-Men 266 first Gambit. It was an 8.5, I believe, on my auction. And I believe the Amazing Murfinator won it from me. Sent it to E-Rod, got it cracked, came back like a 9.6 from an 8.5 because I know that book wasn't pressed because it was mine. But I even said it. I said this book should have been higher than 8.5. I don't know why, but we'll see what happened. It went from a 9.85 to a 9.6. Again, was it worth it? Yes. You never know. It doesn't always guarantee it goes that way.
Right.
But you have that chance.
And I'm not one of these guys that chase grades. Having said that, I did crack my Giant Size X-Men #1 because I bought it from somebody and I could tell this thing was not pressed. I sent it off, had it reslabbed, and got a whole grade bump. Well, that doesn't sound like an awful lot. But when you're talking about a Giant Size X-Men #1, that's a lot of worth right there. Yeah. And so in that case, it made sense to me. Now, if it was a modern book, I probably wouldn't have got it CGC'd in the first place, but I'm not really going to worry about a 9.4 to a 9.8 probably, because you got to worry about shipping, cracking it, and repaying to have it slabbed and all that kind of stuff. But what BLC was saying is the same thing that happened to me, and I think happens to a lot of people that get back into the hobby in the first place, and that is we look at the book with an untrained eye and say, this book looks pretty good. Yeah. And so we send it in because remember that 9.8 as being a thing is a relatively new deal. Okay. Because if you, I think a 9.2 or a 9.4 is still considered near mint.
9.4 is near mint. 9.2 is a near mint minus. So anything, 9.2 or higher, it's still considered mint.
So if you look at it and you say, hey, this is a near mint copy, to older collectors or people that never got into the hobby before, they say, oh, that's good. But if you start talking about slabs, 9.2 is not all that great on some books. So that coveted 9.8 a lot of times makes the difference of whether it makes sense to even slab a book or not. So do not trust your untrained eye to take the extra time, the extra cost to get a book slab. If it should be worth enough to go through the cost of slabbing it for you to slab it.
Even that in that case, because I've seen it too. If you ever watch Erod's books that he get back from CGC after pressing it, when he gets back, he expects grades. When he gets a grade that's not what he thought it was, he doesn't know why. He takes a look. It's like, I don't understand why this came back. So he'll look it over. It says maybe it needs another press again. Again, it depends on the guy who's grading your book, what mood he's in, what he's looking for. Maybe he's grading hard, maybe he's not. Again, it's what that person's looking at. So you can send the same book again and come back a different grade. It could be high, it could be low. You never know. It's depending on that person.
And a good example of that are the books that I've got coming from CGC tomorrow. So check out that video because I got different grades than what I had before.
I love when that happens. Hopefully.
But when I first got back into collecting, grading wasn't even a thing 20 years ago. Right. So I just submitted the books because they look pretty good. Yeah. And I got my feelings hurt bad when I got there. I mean, if y'all hadn't seen that video, go check out my first CGC book video like over a year ago. because that hurt my feelings when I got one back as a 3.0. I was like, I thought this was worth something.
I see Hidden Gem says, yeah, I got a 9.2 on my Jack Kirby Hidden Gem variant. I picked up book raw off the shelf a couple of years ago. There you go.
Yeah. And so you pick it off of the shelf, you're thinking in your mind, well, hey, it's a near mint copy. And at 9.2, it is near mint minus.
It's a near mint minus. That's right.
But in the collector community, everybody's gone to this whole 9.8 thing. And then especially if you can get a square bound book and maybe get a coveted 9.9 or a 10. But, 9.8 is kind of this golden, I'm surprised on some books, the big drop from a 9.8 to a 9.6. You're talking about one spine tick.
Yeah.
And it making that big of a difference.
Yes. I've sent modern books in and it comes back 9.6. And I'm like, why is it coming out? And they tell me it's a spine stress. And I'm looking at the spine, I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? It ain't spine tick. They're not talking about spine tick. They talk about spine stress. And I'm looking at the spine, I'm like, I don't see anything. I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? It drives me nuts. But you guys got to have goals when you send your books in. Okay, when I send books in, modern books, I'm looking for 9.8, of course, because they're brand spanking new. But especially if I'm getting the book signed and graded, and I'm looking for definitely a 9.8. If it comes back a 9.6 sign, it drives me nuts because I really want the 9.8 for especially a book that's signed. Other books, modern, 9.6s I can deal with, but older books. Even when I get them signed, like golden age, silver age, I'm talking about, or bronze, if I get them signed, they come back a 7, I'm happy with, sometimes depending how old they are, if you're happy with a 2, better, if you got the book with a 2. So, I mean, it is what it is. I had a book here in my collection, which I picked up for $1 years ago. I had the book for over 25 years, had it here, picked up for $1. It was Iron Fist, I believe.
14.
A 14. Okay, send it in, got it graded, came back at 2. I think it was a 2, whatever, and I sold it. Somebody bought it, and they said, but I bought that book for $1. I mean, back then, I did it for a reader's copy and I read the story. So, I thought I'd never get it, but I finally got one. I got a 7.5, which I won off Biggies from New York Warriors. I got that. So again, you got to have certain, expectations. Like I said, the older book for me, if I get 7, 7.5, fine. But I got books here that are 5s, 4s, but they're older. So I can deal with that. If I get an opportunity where I can get a higher grade, fine and dandy. But if I get a book signed by Claremont and it's a 5, I am not letting my signed book go. Because it's Claremont signed the book. I'm keeping it. No matter what. Even if I get a better copy, I'll just keep the other copy. I'll keep both. But a signed book, no. I'm not giving up.
So Ashraf says, fortunately, my books I sent to get graded from Donnie Cates, Greg Horn, and Scott Lovedale have come in 9.8, 9.6. Yeah, and so early on, I sent off some books, and I got lucky. I got one signed in Memphis in 2019 by Scott Snyder, came back a 9.8. Yeah. Didn't press it. Yeah. But more often than not, you're going to be disappointed. And so
a gamble in modern books. I send 2 books for in-house signing at CGC, which I got back. I was crossing my fingers, they got signed. I was hoping to get them 9.8s. They wasn't pressed. Sure enough, they both came back 9.8s. It's a gamble, but it came in, especially signed books. So again, you got to pick and choose. You never know what they come back in. Again, one little thing, Again, remember, these are 9.8s. So they're not 10s, guys. They're not 9.9s. That means they're not perfect. That means they found something. So 9.8, it's still, high up there, but they're not 9.9s and they're not 10s. They're not perfect. So that means there's still something wrong with the book. They didn't get to that grade. So.
Yeah, 9.8 is not perfect, but I mean, pretty much it's the perfection. So Hidden Gem, this is the one that I was talking about a while ago. This is Giant Size X-Men #1. The first appearance, quote first appearance, because if you want to be technical, the team appeared in Foom 10 before this one was released. But yeah, so this is the first appearance of Nightcrawler, Thunderbird, Storm, Colossus, and one of the early appearances of Wolverine. I think it's first appearance of Krakoa. which interestingly, and the first appearance of Ilyana Rasputin, who later becomes Magic. It doesn't even list Krakoa on there. And of course, now with House of X, Powers of 10, this is a big book. And so, yeah, I bought this off of an Instagram auction. And I would not have gotten Herb Trimpe because I'm just kind of a, stickler for it. I wouldn't have got him to sign it because he had nothing to do with this book. He was just the first artist to ever draw Wolverine. So somebody at one time or another, some people, like with Stan Lee, they would get him to sign anything.
Yeah.
If I had gotten a Stan Lee SIG, it would have been on something that, really meant something, or he did personally. But having said that, I like it because it's the only he's deceased now, and that's the only one I have. Yeah. But this went from a 3.5 to a 4.5. That was a big difference in value.
I don't have a Johnny Says X-Men one, so maybe one day I'll have it. I don't know. Maybe I will. But I did get my first book signed by Stan Lee. I won it off somebody. So I finally got my first only book signed by Stan. So that's never leaving my possession. It's not great. It's still raw, but So
and so like you, I like that like signed books. So there's a book I'm watching on eBay, which I'm a big Hulk 181 guy. I've got a whole bunch of homages, foreign editions, stuff like that. Of that book, and of course I've got a copy of it, the 181, and there's a 181 German edition. It's a 9.6 slab yellow label, and it has Stan Lee SIG, Lynn Weem's SIG, and who else's signatures? John Romita's signature on there. Okay, well, 2 of those you're not getting anymore because they're deceased. And John Romita is not in the best of health. He's 90-something years old.
Yep.
But to have 3 of them on that 9.6 German copy, how many of those you think are out there?
Just the SIGs alone.
I mean, I'm looking at that just salivating, and I contacted the eBay seller to ask him if he would take a little bit extra. But yeah. So I told y'all earlier I was not going to give you any spoilers. However, Hulk 181 is amongst those books I'm getting back from CGC tomorrow. So check that out to see if I got a grade bump or not. On that, I got it signed by Roy Thomas, who was the editor at that time. So Warlord showed up in the house. What is going on? How are you?
What's up, guys?
Yeah. So look, on a modern book, you can get lucky sometimes like that, but bronze, copper on older, it's just, it's so much better to get it pressed.
Like I said, for me, bronze and silver, like that age, if I get a 7 or higher, I'm thrilled. 7 high is fine. To me, the 7 just looks good. 6, all right, But again, the older it gets, that's fine. I can deal with grades that low, But you try to get the most you can out of it. So yeah, for me, if you ask me, is pressing worth it? I mean, depending who you go to, that's what I do, because I sent books to Erod, and he had told me, it says this book is not worth pressing, and so he's not going to press it. So he gives it that advice. You know what I'm saying? He'll let me know, if it's worth or not, and he doesn't charge you if he doesn't do the work. So again, that's what you want. You want that customer service person that's actually a little broke. He could just say, hey, all right, I'm just gonna press whatever he gives me. No, he'll look over the book and says it's not worth it. I'm just letting you know.
Well, and so some books are too brittle, like especially get older books, they're too brittle to fool with, and they'll damage them. And that's the good thing about that customer service, because my presser does this. I just send the books to him. I said, it might need pressing. If don't press it and send it on in, but just let me know. And that's what he's done. As far as the what is Peter Parker Comics up in here saying? I have a German 181 that's minty, actually, no SIGs though.
Wow.
Nice. Yeah, cool. I got a Russian copy of that, and I bought the 2 rarer foreign editions for that book are the British version and the Spanish version. I bought both of those, and they are coming from London and from Spain.
Wow, that's great.
I'll be excited to get those in, and hopefully they'll be in one piece. And as a matter of fact, that one, that British version, I believe it's the British version, You know how you probably heard the story about the giant size Hulk, how the head on there cover is not Steranko's head.
I don't think I heard it.
Okay, so you know which one I'm talking about, where he's holding holding the Hulk sign. Okay, so that's a Jim Steranko cover, but that's not Jim Steranko's Hulk face. So when they went to release that, Marvel thought that would be too angry of a face to put out to the kids who were reading Hulk at that time.
Oh,
so Marie Severin, who was a inker back then, she drew the face that you see on the English version of Giant Size Hulk. If you get a foreign version, you will see Steranko's. So that's the interesting thing about that book. There's two different faces on it for the same cover. But similarly, not John Romita, but Herb Trimpe's head is not the one that's on the whole. Parker, go on a minute here. There we go. Get that silk slabbed and sell it. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we got going back. Yes, King Size Special. That's the book that I was talking about. That's one that I've been wanting to get because I want to get a foreign version of it and put it side by side because I think it's such an interesting story.
Definitely.
But very, very similar to that. And everybody's got their own deal. Like what BLC was saying about, hey, this book, it's got a SIG on it, or this was my first book, or it's something, and so don't let somebody else's way of collecting, make yours change, right? I mean, you can take ideas from other people, but collect your way and do what you want to do. And because the hobby, unless you're doing this for a living, the hobby's not about making money, although it's nice to make when you make it. It's about having some fun. You get to YouTube wise, you get to hang out with some people that have like interest as you all across the country and the world for that matter. And, BLC can, keep CGC in business, and some of us can send our business elsewhere, or I know some people, they hate slabbing.
Yeah.
So all they want is the raw.
Well, even if you buy a book that's slabbed, you can still crack it, and it's a raw book, and if you don't want it, if you're getting the deal off a slab and it's a book that you was looking for, and you're like, well, I don't want a slab book, but think you can crack the damn slab and you have your raw book that you was looking for and you have it. So again, I do slabbing because it's easy to sell, it's easy to pack, information's on there, you know what you're getting. Okay, it's tougher when you're selling it raw because everybody's asking the same questions. Is the pages intact? What's the color of the pages? Is all the pages there? Is any cutouts? Is this, is that? They ask a little question. What grade is it? This, that. But with the slabs, here it is. Everything there is easy to pack. Again, you go through the auctions, it's easy to pack. I can fit 3 slabs in one box for one shipping. I combine shipping, which is the best way for me to do it. Even with the raw books, the same way. It's about 10 books into a Gemini. But then after that, you go into a medium box. Medium box can hold about 30 books. So I can always hang on to your order until you go to the auction again, buy more stuff to save on shipping. That's on you. I've done it to other people too. I tell them, just hang on to my books until I get more to fill up, save on shipping. Of course, more time sitting there, but it is what it is, depending how you want to do it. Or just say, hey, just ship it to me. But I do slabs because it's a lot easier. And again, I like doing, slabs, and I got constantly books coming in as, slab wise. But again, I sell raw books too, but again, I'm a collector first, guys. I'm always going to be a collector first. I collect books constantly. My auction thing is a side thing. I don't want to be, named as a auctioneer, even though I do it. It is a lot of fun, but I am a collector first. So even on my own auction, if I see a book, I bid on it. I try to win it just like anybody else, But again, guys, it's the highest bid wins. Simple as that. Anybody can win.
Yeah. So Copy 801 says I have 0 slabs in the collection. Well, like I said, it's really each their own. So I know we've still got 16 people up in the chat here. Appreciate y'all hanging out. I'm going to show these books off again. This is what just came in today. This is Uncanny X-Men 21 from the last volume of Uncanny X-Men. This is the John Tyler Christopher negative variant for Rogue. This is copy 2677 of 3000.
Wow, only 3,000. I only got one negative one, the Spider-Man one. That's all I got. I only got one.
I've got the Spider-Woman one like that. It came back as a 9.2, I believe.
Oh, do I? No, you know what? I think I do have the Spider-Woman. I believe I won it off Erod's contest something. I think I got two. Yeah, I think I got two. That was like my
but what happened after this one right here really put John Tyler Christopher on the map. His new stuff, like the Star Wars one that he just done. He did another one here recently too. And I mean, those things they sell out as soon as they go live. Spider-Man. He did
awesome. It's just an awesome idea. The way the theme that he did with the negative, it's just they're really, really. No matter which one, they all look awesome, man. It's just especially the yellow one, he just blends right in. It's just crazy what people come out now. If you've seen, Alex Ross did that Timeless ones that just came out? Those were nice ones too. Those were very nice books to collect. Also,
So Daniel asked a question, and I'm going to give my opinion, then I'm going to let BLC opine on this. I typically do not get a signature because, again, what I was saying with Herb Trimpe, I really don't like that because he had nothing to do with that particular book. The actors can come and go, but the work that was done by the writer or the artist on that book is forever. And so like if you got one signed by Captain America, okay, Chris Evans is Captain America, but the next time they reboot 30 years down the road, he's not going to be Captain America. It's to each their own. Me personally, I don't like it. Having said that, I had gotten a G.I. Joe Snake Eyes Dead game or Dead End game that just came out. A Miko Sion black and white cover with black Storm Shadow in the reflection of Snake Eyes' sword, signed by Ray Park, who played Snake Eyes in the G.I. Joe movie. Now, whether he plays the new one in the new movie, I don't know. He said he wouldn't tell while I was there. But the only reason I got that signed, I had it in my hand, and I said, no, I'm not going to get it signed. He said, no, go ahead and give it to me. And so he offered for me to sign it for free. And so that's the only reason I really got that one signed. But typically I don't. So BLC, you want to say anything on that?
My opinion on that is we're talking about an actor signature. If you're getting an actor signature, let's say that the actor is on the front page of the comic book, like that's his face.
Like a photo cover.
If it's a photo cover of that person, yes. Get a signature because that's his face. Yes, it goes with the book. If you're getting a signed book that doesn't have, that he played a character, but it's a comic book, I would say no. If you're gonna get a character's signature, get him on a photo, of that person. It's the same thing. Get a photo on that. You're better off. Again, you would like to get the name matching more to him. So again, if it's a photo of that person, yes. If it's just the title of the character, I say no. But again, you can also go down the route with the photo of that person. Do it that way. I always go with the people, the artists or the writers of the book getting signed on that book because it pertains to them on that book. That's the way I see it. That's the way I would do it. Like for instance, here's an example. Let's say Batman 66, right? Everybody knows Batman 66, right? Burt Ward, this, that, and everything, and Adam West, right? I would have them sign that book because that pertains to that character, even though he's Batman, but 66 means that these guys, Adam West and Burt Ward, yes, I would get a signature on that book because it relates to them. Even though we all know there's been plenty of Batmans out there, but when you say Batman 66, you don't think about those guys. You think about Burt Ward and Adam West. That's the way I would go. It has to pertain more to the actor signing the book. I have here two signatures from Adam West and Burt Ward, but it's photos of them. Mm-hmm. So I don't have any books. I didn't have anything, but that's the way I do it. So
Yeah,
to me, that's my opinion.
And so I go back and forth again because I got he's talking about JDF, which is the Green Ranger, and has been the Green-White Ranger for the several different iterations of Power Rangers over the years. I had planned to get him to sign a pop, and then, of course, the whole, COVID thing hit, and that went away. But I did get Austin St. John, who is the Red Ranger, to sign a pop. I did not get him to sign the comic. But for me, he basically is the Green Ranger. One day that's not going to be, right? So, I mean, if you, but going back to my aforementioned comment, I mean, if you like it and that cover's got a great place, because some covers to me don't have really good places for 6. Mm-hmm. Avengers Annual, one of the covers. I mean, there's just no place to sign on that book. But if it's got a good place for signature placement to not take away from the cover, and you like it, do it, man. Do it. Yeah, and so Flash by Night says I would consider it on a regular or filler book just to have it. Wouldn't do it on a key book. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it's to each their own. Whatever works for you.
Yeah, for that. Jason David Frank, I've been to cons where he was, and lines like ridiculous. Yeah, he will always be the Green and White Ranger. He's of course the most popular ones out of everybody. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so getting a signature from him on a comic book, I would definitely go down that route because he's so far up there, and I don't think anybody's gonna be a Green or White Ranger. They're always the same other colors and stuff like that. But yeah. For him, I would definitely get him signed on a comic book.
And so of course the risk you take with Legion mentions helmet variants. There's no good placement. Yeah, exactly. And then the risk you take, and I'll find out when I get my books back if Roy Thomas actually obeyed my wishes, because I did a cutout for them to where I wanted it signed, because some of them I wanted it going up Hulk's leg, some of it I wanted over here to the side, depending on the book. And depending on that, we'll see. But sometimes they don't really obey it.
Yeah.
Got Big Will up in the house.
Hey.
Big Will.
What's going on, fellas? Talking about signing stuff?
Yeah, well, we started off talking about CBCS, which I showed the books off that I got back finally, which I think you've got some coming back soon too, don't you?
Yeah, I got some back yesterday, and then the ones from the convention we were at are about to be shipped.
Okay. Those are the two. So those are the two that I got back that I had pressed. 9/8 on both of them. So definitely was worth the wait to get that, because that makes a big difference in value on those two.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I was going to buy some slabs from you, and then because you were running that deal, and then I looked up and those things were sold. I'm like, crap, man, come on, man.
Hey, not everything's sold. There's still plenty there.
Well, so check out Big Will's IG if you don't know what I'm talking about. He's got some Silver Age stuff. Well, no, the one I was wanting was the first Catwoman.
Yeah, that one already got gone.
Yeah,
it was real fast. I didn't think it would go that fast because I looked up on Go Collect about what its price is at, and I put it as shipped, but I just took the exact fair market value that they said, which tends to be a little bit higher than what most people manage to get it for, except a few. So I didn't think it'd sell that fast, but yeah, man, that thing's done gone.
Yeah.
Never know. The right buy.
He doesn't really want to sell me any books anyway, because I've told him he's got some books. He showed them off like accidentally. And I said, whoa. What issue numbers is that? And he told me, I said, dude, I need those. And he's like, all right, I'll get around to talking to you about it later. I'm like, what kind of salesperson does this?
Yeah.
Is Go Collect only? Yes, they are only slab values for CBCS and CGC. It does not take into account, but for all of your collecting questions and values or interesting articles regarding collecting comic books, go to gocollect.com. You can see all that for free, or if you want more in-depth analysis, you can buy a paid membership. There's the plug there. So Big Will showing off. Are these books that you just recently got?
No, but I ran out of bags and boards, and I recently got some more, and I'm just putting everything together. I'll be having at the Big Lion Cat auction on the 16th a huge lot of reader copy X books, although that 210 was actually pretty nice grade, or not 210, 282. Pretty nice grade, but yeah, just a bunch of different X books. That'll be one lot.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Bill Ailing up in the house. How are you doing? Yeah, go collect. I don't get paid for that stuff yet. When I get a few more followers, I'll get some stuff. But you got to start somewhere, right? So yours is coming in today or tomorrow?
Why don't I just check?
There you go. Everything's by phone.
I don't know. In the chat earlier. And so,
yeah.
Is it me or is it like he breaks up?
No, that's him. He's been having some internet trouble.
Yeah, we all sometimes have internet trouble.
Yeah, it's annoying no matter who has it or whenever it happens.
Yeah, he's frozen now.
Yeah, he'll probably go exit out and come back. We'll stay here. Okay, yeah, it is in shipping now. I have not got an email yet, which means it'll probably be shipped, and I'll get sent the information either tomorrow or Saturday. But yeah, it's all done, graded, and it'll be getting shipped out soon.
This is not called the Big Show. big LLC and Big Will. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, we got two CG. Look, I got two.
Well, you know what happened last night? I was doing the talking about Power Rangers with Bert, and I did that same thing.
Yeah.
And so I accidentally hit end broadcast. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So I had to redo the thing real quick and then let everybody know, hey, I'm still back, all that kind of stuff. It was crazy. Yeah, so BLC has the classic Flash Superman, or one of the classics. I think there's been 3 races, hasn't there?
Actually, I think that is my favorite cover for their races.
Okay. Yeah, because on the cover, there's actually some people on the side, right? Watching the race, I think, on the comic cover.
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah, they're at the bottom, though.
Yeah.
Are they on your shirt?
No, just the feet.
Okay, but yeah, there's a few different people.
So while I was gone or frozen in time, so what did you find out on your books?
They are in the shipped thing. I haven't got an email yet, which means I'll probably get one saying they ship tomorrow, maybe Saturday. So that means I'll get them sometime next week. So, I mean, I'll out of the blue, I get a text, and I said, well, I assumed yesterday when I got that text, because I didn't get it till yesterday, when I got that text that it was CGC letting me know about my Roy Thomas signing books. Yeah. But then when I clicked on it, was FedEx, which I've been getting UPS from CGC. And so I clicked on it. It's coming from Irving, Texas. I said, oh, those are my books. So, yep. So definitely was happy to get those finally. And then also them actually have gotten that grade bump. So according to UPS, my books are in transit to Jackson. And so I should get them tomorrow. Hey, Shorty's up in the house. Long time no see, Shorty. What is going on? Hopefully everything is going well up in the Tennessee.
Yeah. But as far as the books, I did get back yesterday. I got Showcase 56. This is the first Psycho Pirate of the Silver Age. Got a 3.5, which I wasn't hoping for anything in particular. And then I got House of Mystery 218.
Ooh.
So what's the significance of it, if any, on that book, or is it just an older book?
Cool cover.
Okay.
That's
so
it.
The first Psycho Pirate, that was one of the ones I was looking at getting. How much did you have on that one?
I don't know. You'll have to check my IG. I forget. This one, I was surprised at how good a grade I got on this one. This is the first appearance and origin of Anthro, Showcase 74, 7.0.
Look at that.
I thought that was pretty good for a book from 68. And then this is another favorite. I'm a bit sad at the grade, but it's not as bad as I thought it might be. First Silver Age Phantom Stranger. And it is a 4.5.
Okay.
Neil Adams cover, too.
Oh, boy.
So
Let's see
Daniel is admiring your Alex Ross Timeless set over there.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I got the Hawkeye one ordered. They're releasing a Hawkeye Timeless. And at some point, I think they're also going to do a Punisher. Got my comic shop looking out for me there. I also got Showcase 68. This is the first appearance of the Maniacs. They're a parody of the Monkees, and it's also a bondage cover.
Oh, look at that.
So, yeah, I also got the Lois Lane 70, the first appearance of Catwoman, but it got bought yesterday, the day it came in, and I just shipped it today, so I can't show it to you.
Yeah, that's the one that I saw, and I was gonna go collect and kind of look at the price for that grade, and then I got distracted or something. Next time I looked at it, it was gone.
Yeah, you there we go. Yeah, man, that thing went up. John saw it. Comics with Kids, John, and yeah, he grabbed that thing and did my deal. So he also got it's claimed on the thing, so you can see which books he got. He also got the Scotty Young signed Strange Academy second print.
Oh, okay.
Number 1.
So are you still doing that deal where you're buying one?
It ends Saturday night. So yeah, I'm still doing it.
So check out his IG. He's still got a few books up there that you can get for free and thrown in with your box of your order. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm surprised I have as many left as I do with that kind of deal. I'm a little crazy for doing that kind of deal.
Trying to move some books, man. Trying to move some books.
Yeah.
Unless they're raw Valiant books, and then he doesn't care about moving them. So
I finally have bags and boards. So I've got 3 long boxes I got to get the Valiant out of to have the whole Valiant set from the collection that I bought all those months ago.
Yeah.
And then I'll be able to go through it and know what I got. Because I don't want to have you or Dave Mares or someone on go through all these Valiant and then have like $1,000 book lying in one of those long boxes that I didn't get to pull out, you know?
Yeah. Well, guys, we are at the almost 2-hour mark, and I do appreciate everybody that's hanging out with us. Thank you guys for jumping on here and chilling for a little bit, showing off a couple books, talking some CGC, CBCS. So the rant was not too terribly bad. So hopefully I'm not turning into that old man that just says, "Hey, get off my lawn, you nasty youngins."
I don't think it's more like a rant. I think it was more just information.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah, but I mean, in the past, Big Will's been on with me, and I've definitely gone off on CGC about some stuff. So, yeah, that's cool. Aerosmith cover, yeah. I got all those right there. Yep. Dr. Mirage, first appearance of Dr. Mirage. That's an interesting book. You should read it.
Mirage.
I think I've got that one. But yeah, so past the time at work. Thank you for everybody hanging out. Be sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification, so when I drop the other videos later today and tomorrow, you won't miss that. Check out BLC. I noticed a couple of people subbed you up in the chat, BLC, so appreciate that. Check out Big Will. He also has an Instagram and a YouTube page. He randomly will do videos. I know he does D&D on Sundays, but I think that's on White Whale's comic Comics' channel.
Yeah, right now it's on White Whales, and I will be starting a bi-weekly show. I still haven't figured out what to call it, so right now it's called What's the Title? About random stuff, and next week will be an episode of that. I got to find somebody that likes DC to get on and talk with me.
Hey, well, there's your segue right there. Legion of Comics, big DC guy, 300 subscriber contest going on. He's putting a shameless plug. Steve over at Burke Family taught him well, but anyway, he's a DC guy and would be a good one to have on. Yeah, that was Grandpa Simpson. Yes, French toast, please. Oh no. Yeah, that was my Grandpa Simpson deal. So check all that out. And I did mention, and I mentioned one more time, that if between now and tomorrow's giveaway, which is happening at 4 p.m., when I give away that X-Men 4, if between now and then I hit 800 subscribers, which I am now only 22 away, I think, that I will give away this Civil War #5 signed by Michael Turner. 22 away now. So signed by Michael Turner to some lucky person that is on the show tomorrow if we can get to 800. So call your mom, call your friends, call your enemies. I don't really care, but as long as they'll sub up to the channel, that'll be good. But that's all I got, folks. Thanks for hanging out with us. Until next time, keep reading, keep collecting. Adios.
Peace.